Hey, what's up guys, it's OSG here with another In Order of Greatness video. This was requested by Calm Cal, and what a request it is. Very current, and it gives a great insight into whether the Mega Drive Mini is for you. Currently, I don't have any mini consoles as I have a real thing, but the inclusion of Darius has made me really want one of these. Darius is one of my favourite arcade shoot 'em ups. Unfortunately, I don't have no footage of Darius, but I'll talk about that at the end. Okay, so the Mega Drive Mini is due to be released in September, and the full game list has been recently announced. I have played these games back to back and scored them as I see it. So as with all my comparisons, it's completely subjective, but I think I've got somewhere near what everyone will agree with. In last place is Tetris. While this game isn't really bad for what it is, it's not a patch on the real Tetris, and the music really lets it down. Next in 40th we have Virtua Fighter, and this is as far from Virtua Fighter as you can get. It's slow, sounds horrible, and even though I'm a big fighting game fan, I just hated this.
Fight! One, ready, go!
Up next in 39th place we have Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. What can I say about this one? One word would probably sum it up: crap. When you think how good Alex Kidd was on the Master System, you would expect the Mega Drive to do better, but I'm afraid not. In 38th place is Mega Man: The Wily Wars. It's Mega Man 1, 2 and 3 in a compilation. While it's not too bad, it's just 8-bit gaming on a 16-bit machine, and it doesn't cut it for me. '37th place goes to the Mega Drive classic, Altered Beast, but it's a classic that hasn't aged well. I remember back in the day this was one of my favourite Mega Drive games, and I'm sure I got it with the console one Christmas, but now playing it is just so two-dimensional and boring.
Welcome to your doom.
In 36th place is Eternal Champions, and again it's another fighting game which, to be honest, isn't too bad. Looks nice and sounds great, but when you compare it to Street Fighter 2, which is also on this list, well, put it this way, if I fired this system up and wanted to pick a fighting game, this just wouldn't be the one I picked, I don't think. '35th place goes to Light Crusader, and it's the first action-adventure game on the list. While it looks okay, it just becomes boring for me a little bit too quickly. In 34th place is Elysia Dragoon. I had never played this game before making this video, and to be honest I wasn't too impressed. The graphics are pretty and the music is okay, but the gameplay is a bit slow and boring, and that noise your character makes when she is hit is just awful. Third place goes to Kid Chameleon. It's a run-of-the-mill platform game, and platform games are what the Mega Drive was renowned for. While it's not terrible, it's not one what I think I would go back and play. In 32nd place is Castle of Illusion. It's low on the list and I contemplated moving it higher while editing, but I just can't move it because I like the rest more. I loved this game when it was released and it still looks great even today. Thunder Force 3 takes 31st place. It's a side-scrolling shooter which I like, but then again it's not one what I love. I just hope that the Darius game is as good as it looked in E3, then I will have my shoot 'em up fix. Thirtieth place goes to Space Harrier 2. The Mega Drive never got Space Harrier 1 port, which I always thought was a bit weird, but they did get Space Harrier 2, and what a version it is. Space Harrier fans will like this one, but it's an acquired taste. In 29th place is Columns. This is another Tetris-like game, but it's way better than the terrible Tetris that was in last place. If you like this type of game, then you will spend some time on this. In 28th place goes to ToeJam and Earl, and I know that this has some real fans, but I just never really got this game. While I can appreciate what people see in it, it's just not really my kind of game at all. In 27th place we have Ecco the Dolphin. Now this was a game that I spent so much time on when I was younger. The free roam feel of this game was great and the graphics are really nice. 26th place goes to Earthworm Jim, and this is like playing a live cartoon. The graphics are so crisp and smooth, and the game is right up my street as I love run and gun platform games. In 25th place we have the game that started it all for me, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember seeing it at my friend's house and thinking the graphics just can't get no better than this. I remember that night going home and looking at my trusty Master System with disgust. Strider takes 24th position. It's a great port of an arcade classic, but I think that although it's a good game, even the arcade version hasn't aged well, and it's not one of my favourites anymore. The 23rd place goes to Golden Axe, and the fact that this game is only around midway on the list shows what a great selection of games Sega has picked for a Mini. This was and still is an iconic game on the arcade, and the Mega Drive version is pretty damn close to that. In 22nd place is Landstalker, and back in the day this definitely wasn't my kind of game, but now I'm a little bit older and a bit more patient, and it's become a game that I have revisited and spent quite a bit of time on. There are some great games on this list, but I guarantee that if you spend some time getting into this, you will really like it. The 21st place goes to Comix Zone, and yes, I know it's a little low because this is an absolute class game, but after you complete it, I just don't think it's one you go back to. If you haven't played it before though, prepare to have your mind blown. Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball is in 20th place, and it's basically Pinball Dreams with Sonic as the ball. Who wouldn't want to play that? In 19th place is a game that before this I had not played, and it's Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. This game is addictive on another level, and I played this for around an hour before I realised that I only needed 1 minute of footage for this video. 18th place goes to Dynamite Headdy. This game is a great platform game with a gimmick of using the main character's head as a weapon. I like this game a lot, and again I think this will be one that gets played a lot. In 17th place is Contra Hard Corps, and it's also the hardest game on the list. Now I love a hard game, so this run and gun Contra sequel was right up my street. For the more casual gamers out there though, this will be so frustrating. Sixteenth place goes to Wonder Boy in Monster World. It's another game that will have you playing for hours with its lovely graphics and jolly music, although the music does start to grate on you after a bit. In 15th place is Ghouls and Ghosts. Now this is a great game, very close to the arcade in looks and gameplay. Unfortunately for the more casual player, it's also rock hard like the arcade. But if you're up for a challenge, this is definitely a great game to try and beat. Fourteenth place goes to World of Illusion. This is everything that Castle of Illusion was, but on another level. It's a truly beautiful game, and you also get to play as Mickey and Donald. Thirteenth place goes to Super Fantasy Zone, and this is one I can spend loads of time on when I was a kid. I love shoot 'em ups, and this one offers a change to the same old horizontal shooter with a cartoon feel and changeable directions. In 12th place is Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. Although this is not as good as the SNES Street Fighter 2, it's still a great game and will be a great game to kick back with your friends with a couple of beers and play.
Round one, fight!
In 11th place is Beyond Oasis. It's another action adventure, but this one has some great action moves that make the game a bit more exciting to play, rather than just wandering around talking to people. On top of that, it looks and sounds great. 10th place goes to Shinobi 3 Return of the Ninja Master. This is probably my favourite out of all the Shinobi games. It's got something for everyone with fast paced platform, horse and surfing levels. In 9th place is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I think this will probably be one of the most played games on the Mini, as it's so good. It is for me the best Sonic game, but I've played the life out of it back in the day and it's lost its appeal somewhat. Still though, people will love this edition. Eighth place goes to Monster World 4. Now I don't know if it's because I'm getting old that I have so many adventure games ranking quite high on the list, or the fact that I never gave them time back when I was younger and now they are like a new experience. But to me this game is really nice and it will last a long time. Graphics are great and the music is nice too. In 7th place is Road Rash 2. Now when Road Rash came out I was blown away when I saw it on the TV programme Games Master. But Road Rash 2 is miles better. It has bikes with nitrous oxide and varied weapons that the original didn't have. And it's another great game to play with friends. Sixth place goes to Vectorman. Vectorman was a game that escaped me due to its late release date, but it was a time when developers had got to grips with the Mega Drive hardware capabilities, and this is a great looking game with excellent gameplay. In 5th place is Castlevania Bloodlines. During the 90s, Mega Drive and SNES were in everyone's homes, but for people who had a Mega Drive, Castlevania Bloodlines was a welcome release of the Konami franchise that started on the NES. While it's not as good as Super Castlevania 4 on the SNES, it's still a great game. Fourth place goes to Shining Force, and again it's an action adventure game. This one is a joy to play and it really pulls you into the game quite quickly. In 3rd place is Gunstar Heroes. It's a super fast paced run and gun. This is one of my all time favourite Mega Drive games, so the high place was a no brainer for me. Second place goes to Phantasy Star 4, The End of a Millennium, and it's a truly massive game that will have you playing for days, weeks, maybe months. Although it's not an all-out action, it'll be one that people return to in a bid to complete. First place goes to not only the best game on the Mini, but I would say the best game on the Mega Drive, period. Streets of Rage 2 is one of the best beat 'em ups ever made, with class graphics, awesome soundtrack and 2-player gameplay that will have you playing, well, forever. I have completed this more times than I can remember, but I still play it regularly with my 8-year-old son. We love it. Right, now let's discuss the elephant in the room, Darius. When this video was released there was no way to get footage, but I have seen the stills etc that are shown here and the game actually looks awesome. If it plays as good as it looks, or it's anywhere as good as the arcade, I would probably rank it in second place. If there's any game that is making me want a Mini, it is this one. Right, that's it. It's been a marathon, but my verdict on the Mega Drive Mini is, it's well worth the money for the range of games that's on it. Not only that, but as a collector's item it looks great and will be like a time machine for transporting you back to the days when things were simpler, the best days of our lives. Let me know in the comments below your favourite games on the list. Till next time, this is OSG, signing out.